Hello and welcome to episode 44 of Daryl Show Your Work. In this episode, I wanted to build off of my previous video where I talked about setting how we could use access control list to set our file permissions. And then a video a little bit before that, I spoke about setting file permissions in general on a basis for us to be able to execute on the principle of least privilege. So I wanted to dive into a bit deeper into that and wanted to talk about special permissions in this video. So we're going to be talking specifically about how to set the UID bits, and then also setting the GID bits, and then also going over sticky bits as well. So to jump into the to the first part of this, which is the how to set a UID bit, I'm going to start by by showing you what that looks like, and then I'll explain what it is that we're looking at. All right, so I'm gonna put in our LL command, and of course, when we put in the LL command, this means that we want to check what the current permissions are of a particular file. So in this case, we want to see what the permissions are for the su command. All right, so which is located in user bin. All right, so I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, so if we look right here within the user area of the permission sets, we can see an S here where the X for executable will usually be. So the what the again what that S permission stands for is set UID. And what set UID is a special permission that allows a user to run an executable file with the permissions of the file's owner instead of their own. So when a normal user executes this command, it will run as if root is running it, and therefore the user is able to run it successfully and gets the desired result. So in this case, SU is owned by root. All right, so that's what makes SU do what it does and have the permissions that it does. So let's say though we wanted to actually remove the set a UID bit from SU. We could do that by doing sudo. Of course, that requires elevated privileges, so we're going to use sudo, and then we're going to specify we want this to be done from the user group. And then we're going to say dash s, which is for the set user ID, and then we have to specify our our directory path that the that su is located in, which is user bin. All right, so I'm gonna hit enter. All right, I'm gonna give it my password since we're using sudo. All right, so we can use our previous command that we use and check what the current permissions are for SU are. All right, and so we can see now that instead of it being RWS, now it's RWX for executable. So now it no longer has those inherent privileges that it had before. Now let's say we wanted to reset this. So let's say for some reason we may have accidentally done this, or we just wanted to give the set UID back to the SU executable. All right, so we could do that. And one thing, hold on, another thing I wanted to point out. Let me see, before jumping to that, there should be an octal notation. Should have given us a it should have given us an octal notation. Let me try to run that command again and see if I could get. No, I can't get an octal notation from that. So I'm going to actually just write out the octal notation for us. I'm going to do sudo, and then now we're going to do a change modify, and then this time we're going to put 4755. So you'll notice throughout this video that usually where there would be a zero here, um, when setting permissions, when setting special permissions, they're going to occupy where that zero would be in front of these three numbers that we usually work with the octal notation. So the 4 here is what is actually adding the set UID bit back into our permission sets for SU. So it's that 4 that's in front of the 755. All right. So then let me specify the directory that SU is in, and this should give us back that set UID permission. Let's check to see, and here it is. It's back. So RWS. So we have that set UID permission back instead of just a regular executable. So let's say we then we wanted to something else we could do if we wanted to find all files within our system that have this particular set UID bit assigned to it. We can write this command here. We can write something called the find command, sudo find, and then everywhere that's within user bin, every file within user bin, perm parameter for 1,000. All right, and let's see what happens. So again, so this gave us every file that has that set UID bit assigned to it as a privilege. All right, so this will help us be able to find files that have those privileges, and you know, if there's any type of adjustments that we need to make with those files, and we feel that they shouldn't have them, then we could go in and we can modify them accordingly. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to move on to is I wanted to kind of dive into how to create and manage users and groups, and ultimately this is going to bring us into setting a group, setting a GID to the set, excuse me, the set GID bit, which is another special permission set. But before that, we need to be able to make a group and then make some users to add to that group in order for us to set that special permission to the group that we create. So to get started, I'm going to make a new directory. So in order to do so, sudo and then mkdir for make directory, and then slash, and we're going to specify our directory name. We're going to call it shared. Let's give it an underscore. dir dir1. All right. So I'm gonna hit enter. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is within that directory, we're going to now make a group, and we're going to give it a group ID of 900. Excuse me, 9,099. So I'm gonna do sudo. In order to make the group, I need to do group add, and then -g to specify the group ID, and I'm gonna call it 9,999, and then we're going to name it shared underscore GRP, short for group. All right. So now we need some users to add to this group. So I'm going to create 2 users here. So I'm gonna say sudo user add, and then I'm going to call the first user. Let's call them user 100. Right. All right, then I'm gonna create a second user, and I'm just gonna call this one user 200. All right, now I'm going to add these users to our new group. So in order to do so, I'm gonna say sudo user mod dash now capital G to specify the group that I want to add these users into, which is the group we just created, shared GRP, and I need to specify what user I want to add to that group, which is user 100. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing for user 200. All right, so that adds both users to that group. Now I'm going to set the ownership and owning group to our shared directory to root and to shared group respectively. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. So the ch own command is what enables us to do this. So I'm gonna say root, and I'm gonna say shared group slash shared directory one dash v. So this is setting, again, this is setting ownership and owning group onto shared directory one, and to root and shared group to both of those. All right, so I'm gonna hit enter. All right, so now we see that change of shared directory one from root to now root shared group. All right, so now root and shared group have ownership of this particular directory right here, this shared dir one that we made in the beginning um, of this part of the video. Okay, so now that we have those things prepared, now it's time to set the GID bit onto our group. All right, so to briefly just give a background what on a set GID is, it's used with shared directories so that any subdirectories or files automatically receive the directories owning group. All right, so that's what this is going to do when we go through this. All right, so the first thing I need to do, I need to say sudo, and then we're going to use change modify again. All right, then I'm going to say G for group, lowercase g for group, and then I'm saying I want to add this S, which is for set GID. And it's because we're dealing with a group, it's going to know that S stands for set GID and not set UID, since I'm going to specify that here on the line. All right, then we're going to set that for the whole directory here. All right. All right. So if we're looking here, and this is why I was expecting the previous command that I had put in to give us how we can now see the change from an octal notation from 0755 to now 2755, and we can see looking at the group section before it was execute and read. Now it's um, uh, S S and R read. So meaning that um, that it has now that set um um that set GID permission instead of just the regular execute permission assigned to this entire directory. All right, so we also, another way we could verify this is going back. Let me see if this is still in my history. All right, so we want to change. Let's see, we're not looking at SU anymore. Let's see. Let's see. Give me a moment here. Want to make sure I'm in the right place. Just verifying that I'm in the right directory here. All right, so I am in the right directory. So the thing we need to make sure that we indeed have this correct, I'm going to do dash directory shared underscore dir1. Okay, so this is going to verify that those changes took place and should tell us exactly what we see at the end of this line here, which it does. But the thing we want to pay attention to, remember, is a few videos back, I told you that if we're dealing with a directory where there's usually a dash here, in the beginning of the set of permissions. If we're dealing with a directory, it's going to replace that dash with a D. So this is one of those times, since we're dealing directly with the permissions of a directory, it's going to replace that dash here with a D, and we can also see that that those group permissions have indeed been changed. All right, so the next part, the last part of this video that I want to touch on is the sticky bit. And so what sticky bit does, it protects files and subdirectories owned by regular users from being deleted or moved by other users or regular users. So a way that we can first verify that a directory has a sticky bit, we will write the command similar to the one that we just wrote here. But let's say we wanted to look at two different directories at once. So let's say we wanted to be able to see what the permissions are for directory, for the temp directory. All right. And then we also want to see as far as var temp. All right, that combination of folders, and then see if indeed that those sets of folders have the sticky bit associated with them. So let's hit enter. Okay, so if we look here at our permissions here, again, that D is in the front instead of just being a dash, so we know we're dealing with a directory. And at the end, though, okay, so where we would usually see RWX, we're going to see a RW a T. And again, so what that sticky bit does is pertaining to other users outside of our group and outside of the owner of the directory, and basically prevents them from being able to delete the directory or anything within that directory. All right, so this verifies that both of these directories do have a sticky bit assigned to them, and this is just another special permission. All right, so let's see what it looks like when a directory doesn't have a sticky bit assigned to it, and how we can then add one to it. All right, so let's look at the previous directory here, and we're just going to look at the var folder. And it looks like indeed that the var folder does not have a sticky bit, because we can see that when it comes to the other section of the permissions set, that it has executable but not a T, which is indicative of a sticky bit. So in order for us to add a sticky bit to that, to ensure that no users outside of us could delete anything within this folder, or yeah, anything within this folder, I'm gonna do a chmod. All right, and then we're going to use octal notation again, and we're going to say 1755. So this time the one in the beginning of this octal notation that's what is assigning this sticky bit to this directory, to this var directory. All right, so the one in the 755 string of um, of numbers here. All right, so then I'm going to specify the directory, hit enter. All right, so let's verify that. Let's go back in our history. All right, I'm gonna hit enter there, and let's see what's going on with var now. All right, so now we can see that var indeed now has that sticky bit. So now only I or anyone within um, uh, the group that I'm in has the ability to delete this folder or anything within it. So let's say for some reason I wanted to remove the sticky bit. So I can do that by doing sudo change modify. This time we're going to just use regular characters here. So I'm going to say O dash T, and this is what's telling it to remove the sticky bit from the directory. All right, then I need to specify the directory. I'm gonna do a dash V. All right, now it's telling us that, all right, it's changed from 1755 to 0755, and we can see that it's saying that, okay, before it had the T, and now it just has the X. And we can also verify this by going our history and running our command just to check what the current permissions are. And there we are. All right, so it looks like we just have the execute permissions here. All right, so those are some ways that we can set special permissions here to our to different files and directory. So just to summarize what was done here, so first I went through and I went through how to set a set user ID bit to the owners of a file, and then how we can then do so using octal notation, and then how we can then remove the bit if we need to, and then I went through and created some user groups and added some users to those groups, and I also created a directory to host those groups and users, and then we set the group ID, the set was set GID. We basically set that permission to the entire directory, and then I went over um, the sticky bit, which again prevents anyone outside of the owner or the group within that directory from deleting the directory or anything within it. And so again, I show how to find that on a file, how to then add it to, excuse me, how to find that on a directory, and then how to remove how to then add it to a directory that doesn't have one, and then to then remove it from a directory in case there's any reason why we wanted to remove that special permission from that directory. So as always, please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, show your work. Until next time, take care of yourself and God bless.